Hello, my name is Drew. I'm from the Poinciana Library of the Osceola Library System. Welcome to our live program, Captured Creatures. Follow along if you picked up the supplies already beforehand, or if you haven't gotten those, you can look below in the video description or on osceola.org/summer-learning for a list of supplies. So we know how many of you are joining us today. Please put in the chat how many people are watching with you. Today, we are going to be creating a captured creature in a jar. Now, this can be any creature you want. Have you ever dreamed of capturing perhaps a little dragon, a mermaid, or a fairy? Today is your lucky day. Okay, you're going to need just a few supplies. First thing you're going to need is a mason jar, or perhaps an empty salsa jar, something clear that doesn't have too much writing on it. Next, you're going to want a tea light. You can usually find these at a dollar store or Walmart. You're going to want twine and a roll of burlap. Next, you're going to want to find a silhouette of your creature. It can be any creature you want, such as a dragon, a dinosaur, or a mermaid, or perhaps even just an animal. It's all up to you. Then you're going to want some decorating items, such as fake leaves, fake flowers, or you can see I have a nice collection of seashells. Whatever aesthetic or idea that you're going for, find those decorations. And lastly, you're going to need Mod Podge, acrylic white paint, and then a brush or a sponge, and then glitter, of course, is always optional. For glue, a hot glue gun is best, but if you don't have it or are too scared to use it, like me, you might want to use Elmer's glue. All right, to get started, first you take your jar. I'm going to go ahead and pop the lid off right there. Go ahead and just set that aside for a moment. Next, you're going to want to take your Mod Podge and your acrylic white paint and mix them together in a small cup. The reason is Mod Podge, though it looks white, actually will draw it clear, so you're going to need something to help with the obscuring. Mix it all together nice and good so that it gets that nice little white milky texture. And then, when it's all ready, you're going to take your jar and with long strokes, you're going to try to cover the entire surface of the jar. Now this only takes maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, but don't be afraid to use as much paint as you need. But again, keep those strokes nice and long. That'll make it so it dries in such a way that you can just barely see through it. As you can see, it didn't take very long for me to cover almost half the jar. And you don't need to cover the very top of it or the very bottom, but you want to obscure all of the outside of it, just like so. Now, this is part of the reason you don't want to get lettering, is lettering can be very hard to cover, and it makes everything just a little bit bumpy in that area. All right. Now you continue like so. And once you got the whole thing covered, it'll take about maybe 15 or 20 minutes to dry completely. And I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for a moment because I was prepared and I decided to go ahead and get us a dry one that we can work with right here. Now, as you can see, when it's dry, it'll have this semi-opaque texture to it that should work for our purposes. Now, what you're going to do next is you're going to take your silhouette. I'm going to be using the mermaid today. And you are going to take your hot glue, or whatever glue you desire, and we're going to attach it to the middle of the jar. Now, to make this easy so that everyone can see at home what I'm doing, I'm actually going to use a clear jar to help us put this on, just so you can see exactly what's going on in there. So I'm going to take this glue, dab it very gently. You can see my hand shaking. That's because I'm really scared about being burned. Oh, whoops. Okay. That's all right. And you take it, very carefully insert it into the jar. Oh, getting caught there, little fella. Oh, it appears I have a string. And be careful of those. And I have big bulbous hands, so they can be kind of difficult for me to sit in, but if you have big hands like me, all you got to do is take, oh, got caught again. Oh, how about that? Just take it and stick it in with a brush. Okay, just like that. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't even have to fully attach. As long as it stays in place, the silhouette will work. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside for a moment. And once you've got it in place, let's just pretend it's in place here. You'll cover around here, you'll barely be able to see it. As you can see on our finished one, even in daylight, it's a little bit difficult to see, but you should just be able to see it. We're gonna take some decorations. I'm gonna pick a couple of starfish here. I'm gonna put a little bit more hot glue. And we are going to attach it like so. Make sure to hold it down for an extra second so the hot glue can set, but hot glue sets very fast. Once again, being careful not to burn yourself. There you are. Got these nice little extra decorations. Now, if you're doing a dragon or another fairy creature or something like that, go ahead and feel free to use any decorations you believe you can attach to the jar. And then, once that is done, go ahead and set that aside. And you're going to grab the lid that you set aside. It'll be in 2 pieces usually, or if you're lucky, they'll be in 1 piece. And then we're going to grab our burlap. Now you're going to want to roll out about maybe 3 to 4 inches. Grab a good pair of scissors. And cut it all the way through, just like that. All right, set that aside, you won't need that again. Take the burlap, set it down, and then you can put your lid on top of it to make sure that it will work. And as you can see, I got plenty of length right here. Then I'm going to move the lid aside for just a moment. I'm going to take the hot glue, and actually I'm going to put a little paper into this so I don't attach to our nice little tablecloth here. And we are going to put a nice little ring as best I can here. I am no expert, but that's okay, none of us are. Not an expert project. Take the lid and very firmly press it in. Ooh, that was hot. Just in case you were wondering, metal is in fact endothermic. All right, once that dries, which will only take a few seconds, you're going to want to take the twine, find the end of it, which mine's right here, and you're going to want to take out about a length of your arm, which I know it looks like a lot, but believe me, it'll be eaten up pretty quickly. Take your string, go ahead and flip the lid over, and you're going to want, this is going to be the trickiest part you'll probably do. You're going to take the string and try to wrap it around the burlap. Now, as you can see, I actually did not attach the glue well enough and didn't let it dry, so we are going to go ahead and stick that a little tighter and wrap it around like this to make our job a little easier. Okay, find the twine in the middle, wrap it around, try to, I'm going to improvise just a little bit. I'm going to also put a little bit of glue on the edges here. Do whatever you need, but again, be very careful not to burn yourself to make sure the burlap stays in place. Okay. See, that'll already make our jobs just a little bit easier here. If I can just get that to go. Yes, see, just like that. Oh, well, there you go. Happy little mistake right there. It's okay, I'm going to cover that in a seashell anyway. It's going to look all nice and pretty. Take your twine and wrap it around nice and tightly around the edges there. As you can see, anyone can try this project. It might take a few tries to get it right. Honestly, if I was doing this project for myself, I probably would go ahead and start over on the lid here because I am not an expert at using twine. That is all right. Once you've got it all settled up, you're going to tie it off. And if you were probably going to take it a little slower than I did, what you should come out with is something that looks like this. If you come up nice and close right there, you can see they tied it off nice and tight. All right, and it'll be like that. So next you would take your lid, take whatever seashells you like, or take whatever rocks or leaves or flowers, and go ahead and hot glue them right to the top, just like so. Again, they'll dry very fast, and it will dry clear, so don't worry about any of that. Next up, you'll take your jar. You're going to take one of these nice little tea lights. You're going to turn it on. As you can see, it looks like a little candle. Very carefully drop it into the jar. You'll be able to put your lid back on right then. I'm going to go ahead and use this lid because I went ahead and messed up that lid, which is all right. And voila, you will have a captured creature. Now we'll go ahead and actually shut off the lights, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. And I hope it comes through in the camera right there, but as you can see, we now have a captured mermaid in a jar. Ah, yes, that looks great. Okay. All right. Then it means it is time for the Beanstack code. Beanstack is an online program where you can learn points and virtual badges for participating in our virtual programs such as trivia, digital escape rooms, and Tai Chi demos. You can also earn points by writing an alternate ending to your favorite fairy tale or attending a live program just like this one. Earn a badge and 10 points by using the secret code word Cauldron. Again, right here, Cauldron. Each week, the top 3 points earners will receive a gift card, and the top 2 points earners will, at the end of the summer program, receive a grand prize. Our next program, as a reminder, is going to be Wednesday, July 29th at 2 p.m. Thanks for joining us, and check out Osceola.org and follow us on social media for info about our other programs, Beanstack, and other services. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.